So we've got some trade updates that I think teams from around the NHL will be interested in. Don't get me wrong, these relate to the Wild and the Sabres, but if you are a fan of the Canadiens, the Canucks, the Flames, the Red Wings, or of any other team, you're probably keeping your eyes out for this situation, because I do think that both of these guys are relevant to the grander scheme of NHL discourse and off-season trade speculation. So, let's head over onto Twitter. We'll read some tweets. One from NHL Rumor Report that cites a comment made by Nick Kypreos on the fan pregame from last week. It talks about Bowen Byram, Buffalo Sabres D-man, where Kipper goes out there and says it really looks like Byram is going to start the season in Buffalo. The replies go out there to various degrees, talking about how good he's expected to be, even better this year. He'll eventually go over to St. Louis. Breaking news. Weird. Player signs a deal, starts with the team that he signed the deal with. What a world. Now, all sarcasm aside, Gearshift is being very sarcastic with that comment, but there is a reason why this entire idea is being discussed. Yes, it is very fair for you to say, okay, well, yeah, Bowen Byram signed with the Sabres a few days ago, so why would he not start the season in Buffalo? Well, it's because of all the trade speculation, because of all the commentary saying that he wants a different opportunity, stuff saying that, oh, there are just too many guys in Buffalo, Dahlin, Samuelsson, Power, and then you have Byram into the mix too. The Sabres could use to get some guys who are right-handed. Byram is naturally a lefty, so he naturally plays on the left side. Him playing top pair right side with Rasmus Dahlin was pretty good for his advanced analytics, but still, it's not ideal for what Bowen Byram could provide an NHL team. This is a player that folks said back in the day was going to be a top 2 defenseman, a 60, 70-point guy consistently in that Miro Heiskanen, Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox sort of territory of defensemen in the National Hockey League. And I don't really know if that's not there anymore. I think, he's 24 years old. He still has a little bit of time to grow and get better, etc., etc. But he has a bigger hill to climb now than he did when he was 18, 19 years old. I mean, he has a Stanley Cup to his name. A lot of those other guys don't. Sorry, Miro Heiskanen. Sorry, Quinn Hughes. But Bowen Byram still is a defenseman that has value in the NHL. The Buffalo Sabres are looking for bigger and better things out of this guy, not because they're thinking about him becoming a long-term Sabre. Oh, no. They signed him to a contract that takes him straight to UFA status. They want this guy to improve so that his trade value improves, and they could actually get a deal that they can see fit with extra value and extra stuff coming back. If Bowen Byram plays better, it is better for everybody. It's better for the team that ends up acquiring Bowen Byram in a trade sometime down the line. It's better for Byram himself because he'll be believed in more and other teams will be interested. And it's better for Buffalo because Byram being better will fetch them a bigger return. If they were willing to trade away Byram for peanuts, then he probably would have been traded already. Just saying. So this idea that Kypreos goes out there and says, yeah, it looks like he's going to start the season in Buffalo, not because he's a long-term Sabre for life and he's going to retire a Buffalo Sabre and have his number put in the rafters. Not that. It's because this guy has already been tossed into so many trade rumors, and now we are trying to see him justify those rumors. He wants a better opportunity. The Sabres don't necessarily think of him as a long-term option. You just gotta wait and see what the trade actually looks like, but it's not gonna come before the start of the season. Now, that is one of the 2 players I wanted to talk about in this video. The second one, there's a lot more info, and it's not just, oh, he's gonna start the season with his team. Let's head over onto Canucks news summaries. To read a summary that's not necessarily about the Canucks, but Canucks news summaries does say, it's been a while since I've had a Marco Rossi recap, so here's Michael Russo, Minnesota Wild beat reporter, probably the best in the business, talking about Rossi on the Daily Face-Off show from yesterday. This was the DFO rundown with Jason Gregor and Tyler Yaremchuk. No more Frank Saravalli, as it seems like he's already fully left Daily Face-Off. And they did have Michael Russo on as a guest, so this is the summary that Canucks News Summaries goes out there and gives. In regards to Marco Rossi and the Minnesota Wild, the two parties are in a major contract dispute, with a major difference in opinion between the two sides on Rossi's value. We know now that Rossi turned down a 5-year, $5 million AAV extension last winter. Russo says here that Rossi deserves significantly more than the Wild are offering, but the Wild don't even want to offer more than Matt Boldy's contract. In fact, they don't want to get into the $6 million range. Not to mention the fact that Rossi's playoff demotion has complicated things even more. And there's concern here from Rossi's camp that if he signs a bridge deal, he'll get demoted in the lineup again, and that will hurt his future earning power. That honestly does make a lot of sense. It's like, hey, I need to protect my client. I need to protect the player that I represent as an agent. If you guys are mistreating him, we're not signing a short-term deal. If you get a short-term deal on the books and you continue to mistreat him, then he will totally be affected negatively longer term in regards to his earning potential and how much money, how much opportunity he can get in the future. That's really, really bad. It's a good red flag there on behalf of Rossi and his camp. Russo says here they're in total shutdown mode. These two sides haven't had a conversation in 3 or 4 weeks. The Wild are seeing if Rossi will sign an offer sheet. Russo also thinks that Guerin is trying to get Rossi to sweat and then will re-engage in contract negotiations in the middle of August. Oh boy, that's a great way to go out there and build a positive relationship with your player, isn't it? The Wild are concerned that Rossi can't perform in the playoffs. A lot of teams have a similar opinion based on the Panthers' success. Rossi doesn't want to sign a bridge contract and get traded to a place that he doesn't want to go to. Now, I do question the playoff performance aspect of this entire thing, because if I recall correctly, did not Rossi have a bunch of points in the playoffs this previous year? Yeah, he was at half a point a game. And that was with the demotion. So what in the world are they talking about? Okay, yeah, you need to get a big, shutdown, physical, hard forechecking guy. That's how you win a Stanley Cup. But you know what else wins you Stanley Cups? Scoring goals. Scoring points. And Rossi did just that on the fourth line this previous year. Like, look at the games where he had points. 10 minutes time on ice, 11 minutes time on ice, 9 minutes time on ice. Like, this guy was scoring even though he was being tossed in the bottom of the lineup. Last I checked, scoring helps you win games. Not necessarily being only a big physical brute that can pulverize guys. Rossi's not that, he's only 5'9". They really are just going the anti-small guy route with this Marco Rossi thing. And now it's hurting both sides because they can't seem to get a deal done. And Rossi himself is in a vulnerable spot where now there's offer sheet potential and the Wild are just waiting to see if it happens. So very, very interesting update here in regards to Marco Rossi from Canucks News Summaries. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Bowen Byram and the update about him sticking around in Buffalo for the foreseeable future? And also this Marco Rossi update in regards to him and the Wild's contract dispute. It's getting pretty ugly there in Minnesota, isn't it? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.